All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of what I think I will change the name, but is currently known as Tidus Talk. Thank you for joining us today. I have special guest, my first special guest ever. That's Mart, also known as SmartTVGaming on Twitch.
Hello.
How are you doing, Mart?
I'm doing very well, thanks. I'm slightly nervous, but yeah, I'm doing good. It's a
Uh,
pleasure to be here.
you're not the only one. So, I guess we can go ahead and get started. Just to let everybody know beforehand, feel free to put in the chat if anything uh, is wrong, audio or visual wise, that you notice. Otherwise, we'll pretty much save questions and comments and everything for the end. So, Mart, why don't you tell us who you are?
Okay, so my name is Matt. I am 34 years old. I live in the UK and I've been streaming on Twitch for around about 9 months now. So I've just had my Twitch baby. Um, and yeah, I mainly stream primarily RPGs, adventure games, anime, JRPGs. But I'm moving slightly more toward like PC gaming because I got a new PC. So I primarily started on the PS4 and then worked my way up to a PC, and that's where I'm kind of sat now. Hence me being able to do this.
So you just turned one. So what made you want to stream?
Okay, so I streamed kind of accidentally. It was very spontaneous. I was introduced to Twitch by my boyfriend Mac, who he does a lot of PC gaming. So he kind of used to watch streams in the background, and I never knew what it was. And I was really curious one day, and I discovered this massive community where people would watch other people talk about video games, and they would just converse with each other. And immediately the thought appealed to me. And there was two or three people who I knew in real life who didn't stream, but they was avid viewers of Twitch. And they told me that I had the personality which would be like, I don't know, I would make for a good stream, which I kind of disagreed with, but I decided to really randomly one Saturday I bought a PlayStation 4 camera. I made sure I got all the HDMI cables. I looked up how to stream, and I just hit the stream button. And it's hands down the, I would say, the best decision I've ever made. I was in a very dark place at the time when I did start streaming. I was going through a bout of depression and anxiety, which I am very vocal about in my streams. So it was kind of like an escape for me. It was something for me to escape to and get away from the real world. But I also met so many like incredible people who I got to share my story with, but not only that, they got to share their story as well. So for me, it's been beneficial in many different ways. One, because I've got to meet amazing people like Tidus, and there's a bunch of other people in the community as well. But also, it's helped my confidence, it's helped my anxiety, it's helped me to be what I'd like to think as a better person. So that's pretty much the story of how I went to streaming, and from there, I've just become kind of like a little bit addicted to Twitch and the people in the community as well. So.
I can relate to especially the not so much the anxiety stuff, but being able to speak better in general, being less nervous, talking to people. That's why one of the reasons I'm doing this, and as well as the Twitch stuff. So I can relate at least a part of that. So what's your favorite part of streaming? What has been your favorite part?
My favorite part, I would say, is when I load the stream up and someone's name pops into chat and I know that person or I don't know that person, and they immediately say hey, and it's just a massive opportunity for me to, and I know this sounds incredibly cheesy, but I am cheese on toast. It is for me to potentially make a new friend and for me to basically get to know someone. And for me, I like to think of my stream as a safe haven. So if you're going through a tough time or you're having issues in the real world and you just want to escape for an hour or two and you want to be in a safe haven and you just want to be around people who care, you want to talk about video games, something we all feel passionate about, then for me to have a safe haven and to have people who are creating other safe havens, i.e. their streams, that for me is probably the best thing about streaming, in my opinion. Absolutely. It's the one thing that I feel very passionate about. I'm very against bullying, and I'm very against people making people feel inferior because they're different or they don't fit into society, or they might be a little bit of a misfit, which is what I consider myself to be. So for people just to have a safe haven to go to and just to chill out if they're having a bad day, and hopefully come away from the stream and feel a little bit better, because I know in my experience with streaming, it's only been 9 months, but I've had days where I've had the worst day in the world at work. I've been on edge with my anxiety. I've been feeling down. As soon as I load Twitch up and I see people coming to stream and I get to talk and I get to engage in conversation, I switch the camera off when I finish, I go to bed, and I'm immediately in a better mood. And it's all because of the community. It's all because people care about each other. The Twitch community is one of the most supportive communities I've been part of. It is, everyone wants the best for each other. Everyone wants to watch another person grow. They want to support each other. And this internet has such a massive stigma of being a negative place, and I feel like Twitch is a little piece of heaven. It's a little positive space that people can go to and just be made to feel better. So that for me, that's the key to streaming for me.
Well said, Mart.
Thank you.
I couldn't have said it better myself easily. So yeah, I find a lot of joy when people come in and say hi, because most of the time you get a lot of people who come in, they'll check you out for 2 seconds and they'll leave. So it's the ones that stop by, and even if they just say hi, it's just it's a nice change of pace, and getting to know somebody new, like you said, is just, it's a different experience. So it's working okay.
Yeah, I think it's very humbling that someone wants to check you out your stream because they just want to come along and see what you're up to, see what game you're playing. And it's so nice to think that they will come back one day and you can build up a friendship from that, which is kind of like what I think you've done, I've done, lots of other people in the community have done as well. And it's nice that there's lots of different communities out there, but we're all like part of one big massive community, which is the Twitch community. It's nice to jump into different communities and just, which I say occasionally on a stream, which just sound really, really cheesy, but just spreading the love and just spreading all that positivity that way. Like I said, the internet can be deemed as like a really negative place, so to be able to just spread a little bit of positivity in different streams that you go to, that's what I try to do, and that's what I like to think that a lot of streamers that I follow and I engage with do as well.
And you do it very well.
Thank you, sir.
So
I try.
Well, you succeed. You go into the comments of your streams and you see all the people just chatting. It's all friendly. It's all wonderful. So I applaud you, sir. So
You make me blush.
what are your favorite some of your favorite games, or what type of games do you usually play?
So I'm primarily an RPG player. My very first RPG that I found was The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. I first discovered that in 1992, which makes me sound really old. I discovered that, and I've never looked back. I've always gone for like a game where you can take the place of a character, and you can become that character, and you can engage with lots of other characters within the game. That for me, it goes back to that idea of being someone else and escaping into this other world, like fantasy games with like magic, sword and shield, basic fantasy games like Final Fantasy, Legend of Zelda, Kingdom Hearts is another series that I'm really passionate about as well. And more recently, I've got into The Witcher, which is another series that I really, really enjoy, and Skyrim. So those kind of games, they are all RPGs, but they're all like, they all kind of have like subgenres as well. Like, for example, Skyrim was a break from tradition for me to play because I don't normally play a game which is like first-person view. So for me, that was a break from tradition. But that's kind of what Twitch has done. It's brought me out of my comfort zone, so I don't primarily just stick to a basic box standard RPG. I'm kind of branching out a little bit more now, which is exciting because I would have played them games if I didn't stream, essentially. So yeah, primarily it's RPGs, but I am going into like first person shooters now. Like I've recently discovered Borderlands, which I quite enjoy, and I know that you play it as well. But it's not normally the type of game that I would play. But because I know people on Twitch, like yourself, I know people enjoy it. People have introduced me to it. You'll enjoy it, Mate. Give it a try. I've tried it, and it's always fun to play with friends as well. So you don't feel like you're kind of on your own. You've got someone to kind of like hold your hand essentially, and then be like, right, you're good to go, kind of thing. So yeah, mainly RPGs, adventure, but I am branching out into other genres as I get a bit more brave.
Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight. Yeah, which I'm. If anyone knows me like through Twitch, they'll know I'm a massive wuss, and I don't do horror. I can't watch any horror movies. I can't watch any horror shows on TV. I will watch the entire content of a horror show with a pillow over my face. So for me to play Dead by Daylight was a massive cue for me. But yeah, Dead by Daylight is fun because it's fun to just run around and just slash your friends to bits with the rusty knife. But yeah, that like I said, it's not just RPGs anymore. I feel like I am branching out a little bit. So anything that is fun or anything that can involve a community and you can play with friends as well. I think that's kind of where I'm going at the moment.
Yeah, getting suggestions from people who might have branched out in similar genres but know different games that you do. It's I can see where that would happen in Twitch, especially. So, what are some of your fondest gaming memories?
So, I think I'm going to be really cliched, but I think my first Final Fantasy game that I discovered was Final Fantasy VII. And I don't know if I should say it because I mean, I can't imagine anyone hasn't played Final Fantasy VII, but all I'll say is there's a key point in that game where a certain character.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That had a profound effect on me because I think that's the first time I've got emotional over a video game. Anything after that's been downhill. I cry at absolutely every video game now. Like Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, Legend of Zelda, you name it, I'll cry to it. But yeah, I think that was one of my fondest memories because I think that's one of the first times I've ever thought it's the first time I felt passionate about a character. I felt a sense of loss when that character was lost, and I realised that I won't be able to play that character anymore during the game. It had a massive impact on me, and I think from there, that's where my passion for video games grew, especially with RPGs, because you play with a character for so long, and then when the game's over, you kind of have to leave that character. When you put the disc back in the box, you're kind of closing the book on the character, and you have to move on, and it's a little bit sad sometimes. So I think that was a massive, a big gaming memory for me. I think when I very first discovered Kingdom Hearts, because I've been a fan of Kingdom Hearts series since 2002, so since it very first came out. So I remember seeing a commercial for the game, and it was put forward as a cross between Final Fantasy and Disney, and they're two of my favourite genres. So I thought, why wouldn't I like the series? And I remember first putting the disc in and seeing the opening sequence and just falling in love with a series that even now, like nearly 20 years later, I'm still in love with the series as I was when I very first played it when I was like 16, 17 years old. So I think the very first time I discovered Kingdom Hearts will always stay in that. It always be like a pivotal point in my memory, I think. And then probably another game in memory was when I finally got my PS4, because I do jokingly say to my partner that the PS4 is the third wheel in the relationship, because it's just like, it's a gateway for me to jump into fantasy realms and worlds and just escape into different like times and different places and just become a different character, and then jump back into the real world and become Mart again. So yeah, I think them memories stand out for me.
I can definitely relate to some of those. I do remember Final Fantasy VII. I do remember the moment you were talking about, and I was in middle school, and I also teared up,
Yes.
which probably was the first time in a game that that had happened.
Mhm.
Uh, I
I
mean, I
think it
didn't know
was
you had such an emotional connection to Cloud, but
mm,
bad joke
yeah.
because we know it
Yeah,
wasn't Cloud who died.
yeah, I don't want to say because some people might not have actually
Yeah, I've
played the
heard of people
game.
who haven't played it, but you'd think
Yeah,
that
I
with the
mean,
meme all over the place at this point that it would have
yeah,
been discussed.
I
But
mean,
we won't say it just in case.
no. If
Uh,
anyone is watching and they haven't played it, go play it.
and PlayStation's always been a big deal to me because it was so much so that PS3 came out at $600, as everybody knows, infamously, and
Mm,
I didn't buy one, but I lent money to somebody so that they could buy one, a roommate, so that I could play it still but not spend the money on it
yeah.
because they would pay me back. It took forever for them to do so, but uh, yeah, and excited about PS5, which we'll talk about later a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, all right, so what do you do outside of gaming? What does Mart do when he's not in front of a
Matt,
Twitch camera?
uh, Matt does not have much of a social life, if he's honest. My social life is Twitch. No, joke. So pretty much my time is mainly spent up with work. So I work in a bank, a well-known UK bank, which I won't say for obvious reasons. It's mainly an admin role, so it's very paper-based. Very mundane, which I won't go into too much detail because I don't want to send people to sleep. But pretty much that's it. Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 job. In my spare time, like I do occasionally go to the gym when the mood takes me. Mainly my free time is spent playing video games and spending time with my partner and just going for food and drinking wine and just socializing with the few friends in real life friends that I do have. And that's pretty much it. I mean, my partner does suffer from multiple sclerosis, so a lot of the time we do spend is going to like appointments, and we do like spend a lot of time, like like we try and spend as much time we have together because we both have busy work schedules, and then when I come home, it's very much eat food and then I want to stream because that for me is my social time because I can jump into my stream, talk to a bunch of people, I can go and check out other people's stream. Twitch for me is very much a social like kind of aspect to my life, which some people might find it difficult to get their head around, but it is, especially when you get to know people. You get to know people outside of Twitch, so you get to know like a bit more about their lives as well. So I'd like to say I do a lot more, but unfortunately, that's pretty much it. It's work, eat, sleep, and Twitch.
I mean, it's honestly not that different for me. We got work, and then we got the family life with the wife and
Yeah.
kid, and then it's
Another one on the
streaming.
way.
That streaming is my social life, so I completely understand you there. So, what are you up to now on stream? What are you playing? Are you playing multiple things?
So I want when I first started streaming, I was under the impression in my mind that I would stream one game this day and then another game this day and alternate between the two, but I kind of found that wasn't working for me, so I decided to just stream one game continuously, finish it, and then move on to the next one, which is kind of how I play games off stream anyway. So at the moment, I am streaming a Japanese RPG called Persona 5, which I know a lot of people are a fan of. It is my first Persona game, but it is a Japanese RPG. I played a lot of Japanese RPGs in the past, like the Tales of series, which I'm a massive fan of. So I'm playing that at the moment. I'm only 3 streams in. There is a lot of content to take in.
Oh yeah.
It is a very complex game. I don't know if you've played it.
Not yet.
No, yeah, okay. There's a lot to take in, but it's fun. It has a massive fan base, so it has brought a few people into my stream who are enjoying watching me play it for the first time, because I think that's one big thing about Twitch is watching someone discover a series or a genre of video game that they've not played before and watching their reaction, because you can kind of resonate what you was feeling when you first played the game and when you got to a certain cutscene as well. So yeah, Persona 5 is the game I'm going to be playing for the foreseeable until I finish it, and then who knows? Who knows? I don't know which one I'm going to go. I don't know which game I'm going to go for next. I'm going to throw it out to the public and see what they decide.
Well, considering it's Persona 5, you've got time to think.
Yeah. It's a long game.
Just what, it's 80 to 100 hours average, I think.
That's the average that's just the storyline I've heard. Apparently, to pretty much 100% it and get everything, you're talking 200 to 300 hours. So, yeah, guess what Mart's doing this year?
For the rest of the year.
Yeah, for the rest of the year, yeah.
All right. So, is there anything else you'd like to add about yourself?
So, yeah, I've touched briefly on like mental health. So I think when I first started off on Twitch, I was adamant that I wouldn't talk too much about myself because I didn't want to put myself out there too much because I was worried about a potential backlash, or I was worried about trolls, because no matter where you go on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, you're always going to get a troll. You're always going to get someone who wants to bring you down, and like you yourself, you've probably come across people who do jump into chat and they do say negative things and they do try to bring you down. So I was very much against putting myself forward. However, I found myself doing it accidentally when I was going through a really difficult period. Mark, my partner, had just been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. I was going through a heavy bout of depression, and what I did was I clipped myself on stream, and I thought to myself, I'm going to watch this back in 2-3 months and see a difference. And I did, and oh boy, there was a massive difference. And I'd like to think that it was Twitch and the community that kind of dragged me out of that dark place. It's people who pushed me forward and said, I really enjoy your stream, like, I really enjoyed watching the game. I'll come back tomorrow, and me thinking, oh well, maybe I'm not doing this just for nothing. Maybe I'm doing it for a reason. And I'd like to think that if I can share my story with people, it'll help other people to open up and to maybe share their story, and just for us all to support each other. Like I've got I made my Discord maybe a month after streaming. I was quite late with the Discord, but one of my utmost things that I wanted to do was to create a mental health and physical health channels that people could jump into if they had a problem. And if nobody else, if like say for example I couldn't help the person, then there would be a bunch of other people that could potentially speak about something that they've been through, and sharing stories and experiences with things that they've been through will hopefully aid other people. I mean, for me, being there for people and helping people and just bringing out the best in people, that's what I'd like to think I've done while I've been streaming. And also, it's on the flip side, people have done it for me as well. So yeah, I think mental health, especially with men, there's a massive stigma because guys don't like to talk about their feelings. They like to keep things deep down hidden. They're not as open to talk about what's troubling them as, for example, maybe like females do. So I'd like to think that if I can share my story with people, then maybe it'll help someone who's going through something similar to step forward and say, yeah, I was feeling like that as well, but knowing that it's going to be okay, then you know.
Yeah, I was going to bring up your Discord because you're really good about telling people if you need to talk for any reason, jump in there, message me, do whatever you need. I'm here to listen. It's one of the great things about you that not everybody is willing to do. A lot of people are just stream to stream for money, stream for whatever, but you're there for the social interactions, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, I think it sometimes all it takes is it just takes someone to just say, I'm listening, and for someone to just listen to your story and for you to get it all out of the open and just to open up and say it, and then once you've said it, it's not like being bottled up inside you. It's out there, it's on the table, and you feel like you've like kind of mentally decluttered your brain. So then once you've said it, I know with myself, if I just like let everything out and just say it all, I can then walk away thinking, I feel so much better now. I feel like I've offloaded a little bit. Whereas I'd like to think that my Discord, and I know there's a lot of other Discords that I'm a part of, have a similar outlook on things, where they want it to be a safe place. They want people to talk about their problems if they're going through anything. Because I think a lot of people who particularly art gamers, they don't think, they think that like a Discord could potentially be a bunch of people from different places in the world, but there's no reason why we can't all support each other. There's no reason why we can't give each other virtual hugs on a day-to-day basis, because sometimes that's all you need. You just need someone to just say, things will be okay, you know, you're good, you know, it's going to be all right, and that's all you need. You just need someone to tell you it's going to be okay, and that can make the world of a difference.
Absolutely. I don't have a lot to say on the subject, just because I mean, I don't really deal with everybody deals with stress and everything, but
Yeah.
I do want to bring up something I've heard from a lot of the other podcasts I've heard is takethis.org. I don't know if you've heard of this organization, Mart.
I don't know.
It's basically specifically mental health as related to usually video game people. It doesn't, not necessarily because of video games, but gamers who need to reach out, gamers who need help. It's a nice resource. They go to a lot of conventions and have their own rooms where people can kind of go in and de-stress and talk about stuff. So I feel it's a good tool to be able to use. So if anybody is interested in looking up stuff, that's takethis.org.
I'll definitely check it out.
I think their motto is "It's okay not to be okay."
That is a saying that I regularly say myself. I regularly say it's okay not to be okay, because no one can go around every day with a big smile on their face and, you know, like treat every day like it's the best day in the world, because things happen.
Right.
Stuff happens, things go wrong. But yeah, I'm a great believer in the it's okay not to be okay.
All right. So now we will move on to where did it go? Oh, so we already you already kind of discussed what you're playing right now. So you're only playing Persona 5 right now, right? Are you playing anything off stream, or is it just
I am a trophy whore, like yourself. I like to try and get as many trophies as I can on PlayStation. So I am trying to platinum Kingdom Hearts 3, which is proving troublesome, but I'll get there. And I'm also trying to platinum Detroit Becomes Human, which was the game that I played before Persona.
Ooh, I gave up well, I gave up. I was going to immediately platinum Detroit, but they don't make it easy as far as the returning to chapters goes, or at least not that I found. So that one is something I might go back to, but we'll see. I don't think I'm trophy hunting anything right now, but what I am playing, I'm still shining hunting in Let's Go. I started Cuphead on Thursday, and I'm continuing that tonight. So that's been a lot of fun. People watching me die.
Yeah, you will die a lot in Cuphead. Yeah. Cuphead is not forgiving. It is a very punishable. I played it on my friend's Xbox when it very first came out, and it is rage-inducing. It is a game to rage at, but the game is so beautifully animated. They've got this old 1920s, 30s cartoon like feel about it. It's just a gorgeous game, and the characters are so well developed.
Oh yeah, all hand drawn, and the music goes back to it as well, and
it goes back to like the 1920s, 30s. I think it's called Rubber Hose Animation. I think it's called. I think I googled it a couple of like months ago just to try and establish what kind of animation it is. So you can rage, but your rage will immediately melt when you start to see the animations, and it's just an awesome game. I mean, I would stream it because it is coming out for the Switch, or I think it might already be out for the Switch.
Came out on the 18th.
It did. Okay, so I think it potentially might be something that I stream in future, but I just don't trust myself because I'm not short-tempered, but I I'm I'm very emotional when it comes to video games, so I don't tend to. I wear my heart on my sleeve, so if I am naturally upset, it's going to show on stream. So
Well, that's where
maybe
a lot of
people want.
your clips come from.
Well, pretty much, yeah. When I'm walking into a wall, or I'm doing something incorrectly, or I'm pronouncing someone's name incorrectly, yeah.
I, yeah, I think that's pretty much all I'm playing right now, and you're playing. So we'll switch. The next thing is gaming and other news. So I've got a couple things listed here. I don't know if you had a chance to look at anything. Uh, One of the things, DBD Ash has been released, as well as
Yes.
the new killer recently in Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And did you hear about the new game mode coming? The end game mode?
I did not know.
I forget what it's called now, but it's not going to be fun for survivors. It's basically a new timer system that you have a certain amount of time to get out after all the gens are done to a point.
Oh, damn.
Basically, once the exit gate is opened, or the
Yeah.
killer can now close the hatch. At least they can. Yeah,
Oh,
they
really?
can close the hatch now. Yeah. So if the gate is opened or the hatch is closed, there's like a 3-minute timer, and once that timer gets to 0, everybody who's still in the map dies.
Oh,
So
wow. That is brutal.
they're putting a lot of pressure on the survivors that with
They
this
are.
update
Yeah.
that's
I
coming.
think they want people to play more as killer.
Oh yeah, I'm
So
sure
that's
they
me.
do. And I haven't gotten a chance to play with Ash yet, but he looks fun. Some of his abilities, like there's one where you get an extra hit. It basically
Yeah.
is nice.
I've seen the design for the character and he looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I've actually never seen the Evil Dead series, but I'm well aware of the character.
Yeah.
Uh, Overwhelm, something I was going to talk about was Overwhelm came out, I want to say a little over 2 weeks ago. I was fortunate enough to actually get a promotional code
Ooh.
from a company to stream it and put media stuff out on it.
Nice.
Pretty interesting little game, very retro NES style graphics, very
Oh, I'm
brutal. You
sold.
get 3 lives and then you have to start all over.
That's the way NES and SNES games used to be. They did not hold your hand. It was very much being thrown in the deep end, and you got to be a good gamer to do it.
Absolutely. The only thing that they give you at all is if you go, there's basically 5 bosses you have to go beat, and once you beat the bosses, the game's over. That's all you have to do is go beat the boss and return with the crystal. And once you beat a boss, you can fast travel to that boss again after you die. So that's the only saving grace you have, is a little bit less time traveling to the bosses. But every
Yeah.
time you beat a boss, the enemies power up in the area. So you might fly faster, or the enemies might fly faster. They might have shields suddenly. So it's a brutal game. I've never beaten more than one boss at a time. I can't get to a second boss and beat them with the extra strength that the enemies have gotten. So it's fun, but it's not for the weak of heart, that's for sure.
Yeah, I might, I might give it a go, but it'll be
It's
an
only
off
10
stream.
bucks on Switch, so it's not bad.
Oh, see, I'm hoping to venture more into Switch games going forward, so I might add that to my ever-growing list.
What are you looking at jumping into on Switch when?
It's funny you should say Pokemon Go because I don't know. I've seen a lot of people do shiny hunting, and even though it's quite repetitive, the prospect of getting a shiny Pokemon being like a real rarity, that really does appeal to me. And also, I want to play Cuphead, and I also really want to play Mario Odyssey as well.
Okay, yeah, the shiny hunting is weird how it is kind of starting to get to me now after so long I've been doing it, but watching other people do it does draw you in, and you're not exactly sure why.
Exactly.
But all right, some non-gaming stuff, trailers. I don't know if you've seen any do you watch the Marvel movies at all, or?
I don't, unfortunately, know. This is where people are going to stop watching. I don't. I'm not a Marvel or DC fan.
No, that's okay.
My
I know people who don't.
Yeah.
But the Endgame trailer, the final Endgame trailer came out, and
Yeah.
it's. Oh, we
I
won't
know
talk
it's a-
about it too much, but this movie's
it's a
going to
big
be
deal.
epic. I don't know when we'll get a chance to see it, but we got to dodge spoilers like crazy. Because it comes out next week, next
It does,
Thursday,
yeah.
I believe. So, and then
My partner's very excited about that, and I'm just like.
the other trailer I saw that I was actually really surprised about was Joker. I don't know if you saw that one.
I did, yes. Now these are things I've not really got a massive interest in, but because I travel 40 minutes to work every day, so I have a lot of downtime to like look at things on the internet. So I did see the trailer for that, yes.
Uh, just it just surprised me as all. Like with the stuff they had shown before the trailer, I didn't think I'd be all that interested. But I don't know if it's walking his performance or just how everything's set up. I think it'll be really, really good. How it ties into anything DC, I have no idea. They're a mess over there as far as continuity goes, but it looks promising based on the first trailer. Uh,
I'm pretty sure I hear all about it with there's a lot of people in the community who are massive Marvel and DC fans, so
I'm
maybe I'll end up getting into it. Who knows?
Who knows? Well, there's a lot to catch up on if you do. So, uh, Twitch changes. So lately we've had a couple of changes come to Twitch.
Indeed.
Main ones for me are bit badges and
Yes.
the quicker payouts for affiliates. So
That
do you plan on upgrading your bit badges at all, or?
I've given it some thought. I'm due to do a massive overhaul on my channel soon, so I am one of my very good friends, Taff, totally a fan, is in the process of creating a new overlay for me, which it'll be bespoke for my channel because at the moment I just use a generic slabs one, but because I'm getting a lot more comfortable with the PC element type of streaming, so I'm hopefully gonna go ahead and get that all set out as well. Sorry, what was your question? I went totally off topic then.
That was just whether if you were going to switch, if you were going to
Oh,
update bit badges.
so yeah, I probably will do because if I'm doing an overall on my channel and I'm making it look brand new and fresh, then I probably will upgrade my bit badges going forward. But it's not something major in the pipeline. But it is good that they've introduced this and they're keeping like Twitch fresh and they're not letting it go. They're not letting it go stale, and people have the same bit badges for like years and years and years, and
Right.
they're trying to keep it fresh and try and give you something to talk about with Twitch, especially with the affiliate payout, because I think it will encourage people to want to stream more as well, which is always an awesome thing because it's awesome to get more people playing video games online and it's potential people for us to go out and talk to.
Absolutely. I actually got the first check in the mail yesterday. Like literally, like
Yay!
it wouldn't take my PayPal, so I had to
Oh
have them send a
no,
check. So I have a physical check. That I don't know what I'm
old
gonna do
school.
with besides deposit, but I might do something with it. We'll see. And I told everybody last night during the Jackbox, I appreciate all the support from the community.
Of course, yeah,
Without that, I wouldn't see the check, but it's all going right back into it. So better
yeah,
camera, new streaming PC, all that stuff. So, uh,
amazing.
all right. Next I've got on here is the PS5. So I assume you've
Yes.
seen the PS5 news.
Oh yeah. Very excited. Very excited.
Yeah, backwards compatibility. I'm so happy.
Yes. I I heard it's only for the PS4 backwards compatibility,
Right. That's what I would
but
assume as well because of the cell processor. But it's a step in the right direction.
mhm. um, I heard there is talks that they are going to make a lot of PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 available through the PSN store. So people will be able to buy them and play them on the PS5. It might not be a remaster, but
Right.
it will support that. So for me, that's a massive thumbs up because you want to play these old school games on a new console. But for me, it means that I've potentially got the opportunity to stream them as well, so I can have a dash of nostalgia in my streams. So that for me is a massive, massive.
Yeah, you can go back and stream the original Spyro instead of the updated one.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Spyro made me rage a little bit, just a little bit.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it'll be faster, better graphics, and all that jazz. I am excited about if the loading is how they promise it to be. That's exciting. Going, taking a 15-second loading screen and taking it to less than a second, using
Amazing.
whatever
Super fast.
solid state drive and other components they have in there is exciting.
Yeah.
Especially if you can throw in old PS4 games and they run faster.
Yeah.
Also very exciting.
I
So
also heard. There was also the thing about just while we're on the subject of PlayStation, the fact that you can now change your PSN name as well.
yes, I don't know how I forgot that. It's I listen to podcasts I listen to Kind of Funny, and every day is basically like when can we change our names, and then it finally happens.
Yeah,
Uh, so yes, there are some caveats to that. So anybody who's thinking about it, just make sure you look into it, because there are some games,
yes,
especially older ones, that either won't work with
hmm
it at all, or you
it
could
won't
lose
support it.
progress or lose some DLC if changing your name. So anybody interested in changing their PSN name, do your research first. They do have a nice list of games with like either no issue, no known issues, some issues,
Yeah,
or major issues. So keep an eye out on that.
yeah.
Do you have,
I would think long and hard before you actually decide to go ahead with it and change it.
I,
Me personally, I wanted to change it for so long, and now that the time's come, I think, nah, I'm good. I'm just gonna keep it.
I was about to ask if you had any plans to change it or not.
No, see, mine's just an anagram of my name and my surname. So for me, it's not like I chose something really embarrassing when I was a lot younger, which I know a lot of people did, and then they would be glad to get rid of it. But for me, it's just I'm just gonna keep with what I've got.
Yeah, you shouldn't be. You probably shouldn't be allowed to make your own username until you're like 18 or older, because
Yeah, yeah, true.
I can imagine all the teenagers who are very embarrassed on their names now.
Yeah.
uh, all right. Was there any other news that I hadn't mentioned that you had looked up or you
I
wanted to
think
talk
we've
about?
kind of covered everything. I mean, yeah, there was the thing with Twitch and the PS5. I think that was it in terms of
Uh,
games. I know there is due to be an announcement in regards to the Final Fantasy VII remaster soon.
is there?
I did read. I read online that there was going to be an announcement soon, so I'm hoping that it's going to be in a release date. I think it's going to be 2020.
That
Myself,
I don't doubt that at all. The way
it's
this has
about
been
time.
handled has been very rough.
Mm.
So
I'm
as
very.
long as what comes out of it is good, I don't care how long it
Oh,
takes.
it's going to be amazing. I'm very excited for that.
The only other thing I can think of is the Xbox, the all digital edition, was officially announced, and the
Hmm.
only thing I really have to say about that is I don't know how they priced that at 250. Uh,
Mm,
I mean, it's literally the Xbox without the drive, and it still costs more than a PlayStation 4 has been for like 2 years.
yeah.
So I don't know what they're thinking over there. I have no problem with Xbox. I don't have one, but I don't begrudge anybody who has one. I just sometimes their decisions I don't really get. But
Yeah, I mean, Mark, my partner, has an Xbox, but I'm always drawn more towards the PlayStation because it's just something that I grew up with, like from getting the first PlayStation 1 and getting Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Croc, all these really old school games that I got with it, and
right,
I've just grown up with PlayStation. Before that, it was Nintendo. So for me to jump on to Xbox, I mean, don't get me wrong, if there was a game, a series that I really, really wanted to get into and it was Xbox, I would play it. I have no qualms about playing it. I don't like the whole PlayStation versus Xbox imaginary war that people have going on. It's
yeah,
just we're all gamers. We all like playing video games. Let's just leave it at that.
absolutely. So Mart, we've pretty much come close to the end. So where can people find you?
So people can find me at Twitch/SmartTVGaming, or I do have a Twitter, which is twitter.com/SmartTVGaming again. Um, I if you I normally stream my schedule is very I try to keep it the same time every day, but normally it's about 6:30, 7 p.m. UK time, and I normally stream for about 3 or 4 hours, depending on what time of day it is when I do stream. Um,
How often? How many? Do you have
yeah,
set days, or do you just as you feel like it?
I stream 5 days a week. That is set in stone. I always try to do 5 days a week unless something comes up. Um, I try to stream Mondays, Tuesdays, have Wednesdays off, Thursdays, Fridays. Fridays are normally my longer stream where I may do play DBD afterwards with the community, or I may stream like Jackbox and things like that. But Saturdays are normally my days off. And Sundays I normally do a stream as well, where I'll stream a little bit earlier as well. But I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks that I am going to get a set schedule, and I will be actually able to stick to that and have that going forward.
Nice. All right. At this point in time, we usually go and see if anybody has any questions or comments for us in the chat. I haven't seen anybody chat. It says there's a couple people in here, but I don't know if there's anybody interacting. So if anybody would like to have anything to say or questions, let us know. We'll sit here for a minute and to wait to see. If not, then we'll move forward. But waiting for that, I did want to say thank you, Mart, for coming on, being my first guest.
You.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. It wasn't as daunting as I thought it would be.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and say that I got some lurkers here, so there's not really going to be any questions. But thank you once again, Mart. This stream was live, but it will go. My graphics a little off there, but my plan is to have an audio version and video on YouTube, and audio version on. I have it right now on Podbean, available Monday by 3 p.m. Or at 3 p.m. They'll both go live. So if anybody wants to watch it later or listen to it later, it will be available. Once again, Mart is SmartTVGaming on both Twitch and Twitter. So I would give him a look and a follow. He's a good person and a good streamer. Very gracious enough to join me today. And yeah, I mean, that's all I've got. Any closing comments for you, Mart?
I just want to say a massive thank you to you for allowing me to be part of the podcast, but just a big, massive thank you to everyone who's part of the community that we know, for just being so supportive of me, but not just me, but being supportive of each other. Like, you're all amazing people. You make streaming for me an absolute delight. There's nothing I like better than switching my PC on when I get home from work and jumping into a stream and just engaging and seeing how other people's days have gone and what people are up to, and just following their Twitch journey as well. So just a massive, massive thank you to everyone who supported me on stream and off. And here's to the future, I guess. Like, here's to what's to come during the rest of 2019 and going forward into 2020.
Well said. All right, so I wanted to thank everybody who did stop by, everybody who's sticking around, or if there's just lurking. Thank you for coming by. We will go ahead and end now. And everybody, I hope you have a great day. Thank you again, Mart.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you very much.